to another video, and today we're going to be doing an updated prediction and analysis of the 2020 presidential elections. So, what are we going to begin with? First of all, I just want to start off by saying that although Donald Trump right now is kind of in the rough with a lot of America, there is a big chance he might come back and rebound and something never seen before. And I think we're probably going to see a 2016 type surprise when it comes to a Trump victory. Again, things can change. Today's today, tomorrow's a new day, and who knows? Maybe something crazy happens, and who knows? So let's begin with our safe. Let's start with the Republican safe states. We never start with them. So your same safe states as usual. It's really no big differences. And by the way, guys, I started a new TikTok account for Purple Political Talk. So if you guys want to go check it out, it's called Purple Political. So at Purple Political on TikTok, and yeah, check it out because you'd get more content there. So I think this is what our map would look like. And now looking out for our safe Democratic states, we're gonna have our regular states that are usually safe. All the states except New Hampshire. In this like big list, I think like the Northeast is one of the most democratic places in the United States, and I think it's more increasingly democratic than the West Coast. So state of New York, Illinois, and I think that's it. So this is our map where we're going to be starting off. And oh, we forgot the state of Maine. So Maine at large means first district, and then second district is at play in the state of Hawaii. So this is our map. We're going to start with Donald Trump and Michael Pence at 125 votes, and Joe Biden and his VP pick at 190. So what are we going to be seeing here? Well, first of all, I think in this scenario, I think it's coming more and more, it's trending more and more Democratic if you follow the polls. But again, nationwide polls only. And the nationwide polls, I wouldn't be surprised if they're just counting California, New York, and then like 2 Republican states. Because with the nationwide polls, you could be winning a state like California by 30 points. But again, you never know. So, where is this election going to be fought? Main playing turfs, if you can see. The Sun Belt and the Upper Midwest. So, I'm going to begin with characterizing our likely Democratic states. So, states like Colorado, states like Virginia, states like New Hampshire. And those 3 states are going to be crucial to a Democratic victory. If they don't win the states of Virginia, Colorado, and New Hampshire, it's very unlikely they'll win any of the rest swing states left on this map. So, I think these would go by a considerable, comfortable margin for the Democratic Party, possibly by 5 to 10%. And I think out of these 3, the one that's going to be the closest is definitely going to be the state of Virginia. And the one's going to be like the farthest is going to be the state of Colorado. So moving on to our likely Republican states, my bad. The state of Texas. State of Texas, it's gaining a lot more demographics that shows trending in the Democratic's favor. But again, we're still talking about Texas in present day. Tell me Texas in a couple years, in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, we're talking a hugely different scenario, a hugely different story. So right now it's not gonna flip. Same thing in the state of Georgia, getting closer, and yes, in this southern part, I guess, in the southern part, and then in the upper Midwest, who's going to decide this election? By part, it's gonna be the African American vote. Turnout is what matters in these elections. You win by 1%, you win the whole state. That doesn't matter. You take all 16 electoral votes in the case of Michigan. But again, margins is what matters. There are very few swing counties. And you just have to realize you have to overperform in your strongholds and make your opponents underperform in their strongholds. So, yeah. Same thing in the state of Iowa. The Democrats could potentially have a shot there. Again, is it likely? Probably not. In the state of Iowa, it's very complicated because it's a very weird demographic. There is a heavy African-American population in certain areas of the state of Iowa. But again, I think in that state, they're trending more towards Trump because most of the state of Iowa is considered rural. And yeah, I think that's what leaves us with our lean and tilt states that are currently unfilled. So looking at some lean states for the Democrats, state of Nevada. Look, I think a big case should be made. A lot of people say Nevada could be a lot further for the Democrats, like bigger margin than the state of Colorado. I personally don't believe that is true. Here's why. The state of Nevada, a lot of people are moving out of the state of Nevada because of the casino closures over the pandemic. And for that reason, who's going to be left? Well, the people that actually lived there for a long time, especially the people in the suburbs. Who are those? Well, in the state of Nevada and the people in the rural areas. That is mostly Republican vote. The only reason why the Democrats have won the state of Nevada is probably little wins in the state of in the Reno County in the Reno, so that's Upper Nevada, and then but that huge margin wins in Clark County in Las Vegas. So for that reason, I'm putting in the lean margin, probably going to be by 2 or 3%. And for the Democrats, I think state of Minnesota will be the same thing. The state of Minnesota, again, if they choose someone from the Midwest, it'll make it easier for them to win there. But again, I think maximum is going to go by 3 or 4%. And that isn't a crazy scenario. In a realistic scenario, I think it'll go by 2 or 3%. Now, I think that would be it for a lean Democratic states. When it comes to lean Republican states, we have a lot. So we have the state of Florida. State of Florida, here's the thing with the state of Florida. It's a very weird dynamic that's going on. So, like I said before, margins are important, and margins are what matters. Now, in the state of Florida, we can see Donald Trump's gaining a lot of support in Democratic stronghold counties. You can see that in the Senate elections in 2018, the governor elections. You Google the CNN or MSNBC maps, you can clearly see county by county votes and compare things. Now, does this mean that it's out of play? No, absolutely not. But is it going to be easier for Donald Trump to win? Yes. Same thing in the state of North Carolina. Here is the problem with the state of North Carolina. There is a strong Republican base. So, again, the black vote is what they're going to need. I think that is the one minority the Biden campaign shall focus on in this election. Because, okay, some people can argue the Latino population, that could help you in the state of Arizona, and the state of Texas, state of Florida, and the states of Nevada and Colorado. These 2 states don't really matter. It's really just for 2 states. But with the African-American vote, where could that help you? Some parts in the state of Texas, parts in Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin. So that is really what matters this election. Latino votes does matter. But again, African Americans currently is most important. And I think the Republicans could win if in a lot of these areas, if the Republicans, if the Democrats don't send out and don't kind of get turnout from the African American community. Now, these 2 districts right here, Nebraska's 2nd district and Maine's 2nd district, I think will both go by lean margins to the Republican Party. In the state of Nebraska, they're more progressive than you may think. But again, there's still some rural parts of that district. And again, those progressive people are only going to go out and vote if someone like Bernie Sanders is on the ticket. If Bernie Sanders is not on the ticket, forget about it. That's one electoral vote that's really kind of non-essential, but pretty much not going to go. Same thing in the state of Maine. They like someone from the Northeast, like super upper Northeast, like Massachusetts or Vermont or New Hampshire. Having Trump, who's like kind of familiar with the area, he won that district and he has appeal for rural voters. As you go up north and you get closer to Canada, a lot more rural areas. You can see this kind of like in the border. So, well, there's like Seattle right there, but other than that's rural areas. Idaho, Montana, North Dakota, Minnesota, northern parts of Wisconsin, northern peninsula of Michigan, northern New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Most of those states are simply rural areas, and I think Donald Trump can easily win that. So now, what's going to decide the election? Well, no more and no more less than the Rust Belt. Democrats are going to have to make a huge improvement. The state of Arizona, I think, is going to go slightly to Donald Trump by less than probably 1/10 of 1%. Somewhere in that area, 1/10 to 2/10 of 1%. Democrats will get a lot closer, and they're going to be the closest they've ever been to winning a presidential race in the state of Arizona in the last 20 years. Now, looking prospectively for the Democrats, they can win Arizona, they can avoid losing the state of Wisconsin. Now, if Donald Trump wins the state of Arizona, then the Democrats should really go for the Rust Belt. And I think this is going to be the problem for the Democrats. Out of the state of Wisconsin, Donald Trump's gaining lead, and I think he could easily pull off another upset like he did in 2016. Why, you may asking? Well, first of all, polls are never wrong. I mean, they are wrong, but it's more like a margin of error thing. And I think they underpolled the state of Wisconsin in this election. They haven't come out with so many polls like they have in other states. So the state of Wisconsin, I think, would narrowly go by around the same margin the state of Arizona goes to Donald Trump. So we already reached 270 votes, giving Donald Trump the election. But where could the Democrats pick that up? The state of Pennsylvania, I think, at this point, it's more of a safer bet than the state of Michigan. State of Pennsylvania, Democrats have a huge advantage in that state. That's Joe Biden's technical home state. And even if it wasn't, like, even if he didn't serve as senator from there, that was his home state, that was his birth state. And then, like, literally, Delaware is a small state that's, like, just a little bit south. So ultimately, it's probably going to go to Joe Biden. Where this could turn, like, a bad scenario for Joe Biden or a good scenario for Donald Trump. I think the election is going to be, the state of Michigan is going to narrowly go to Joe Biden. And I think the reason is that just because Joe Biden could have won this race by a lot more, but he has to pick the right VP pick. He picks Gretchen Whitmer, that might turn off some potential voters. He picks Michelle Lujan Grisham, probably going to turn off a lot of people because she's not relatable to the people in that area. Joe Biden could do pretty well in that state. Ultimately, I think in the Midwest, I think the best candidates obviously are Gretchen Whitmer for the states of Wisconsin and Minnesota and Pennsylvania. But Kamala Harris, she could bring out the black vote, which is what they need. Michelle Lujan Grisham would be a good VP candidate. I'm going to go over this in my readings just because of the Latino vote. But all of this comes to this kind of general prediction. So my final prediction for today's video is 270 votes for Trump and Pence and 268 for Biden and his VP pick, which I will be making a video about that soon. So I want to thank all of you for watching, and I wanted to remind you guys that I'm sorry that I didn't post yesterday. I had a very severe internet issues. JJ Holmes, I'm really sorry you couldn't have your election night ready. I know you're really excited for the election night. I'll try to make it by tomorrow or Saturday. I promise I'm gonna post it soon. It's just that having internet problems is not the best thing to have. And if I make the election night, I'm probably gonna leave you guys with a lot less content. And I want to push out content for you guys to enjoy. So again, thank you for watching. Go check out the TikTok Purple Political. And yeah, so remember, 250 subscribers, we do a giveaway. And have a great day. Bye.